Hey, my name's Danny Frank. I'm a realtor with JLA Realty and one of the managers of our many fine offices here in the Houston and Beaumont and Dallas, Austin, the entire Texas area. Hey, the reason for this YouTube video is because I'm setting up a way to teach agents here, mostly in the Houston Association of Realtors, how I'm doing CMAs in 5 minutes or less. You know, I've been teaching classes all over JLA the last half of 2022, and we're getting so many people asking for a PowerPoint presentation or ways to do this. So today, this is going to be my effort of going through a YouTube video, instructional how-tos, how I do my CMAs, and how my prices come out exactly like yours do, but mine take 5 minutes. How long do yours take? And I just want to show you a different way of doing things. This is not the only way to do it. And by 100%, this is not always the correct way to do it, but it's just an easy way to come up with a price that I think you can use in your real estate business to help push that easy button and to come in and really find out what a price might be right now, quick, fast, in a hurry. So stay tuned. This is going to be kind of a lengthy video, I hope, and we'll get to it right away. Here we go. All right, so let's jump right into this. You know, a lot of people do CMAs and they get all off into the weeds, in my opinion, about what is a CMA. It's a comparative market analysis. And it's not by Texas law, we can't say it's a value. That's only something that an appraiser can do. So I want everybody to just zip their lips when it comes to saying value anymore and only talk about what your ideal price might be, your price opinion as a realtor might be coming in. So what I'm going to do here, I'm logged into the HAR's members only portal, because this is only for realtors. So if you're a consumer watching this video, you're going to see how we do our CMAs and how we can really come up with a really great price to help you, the consumer, find out what the best price is for the house. You know, I just believe that you can't really go to old comps 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago of sold properties and really come up with the value of what a property is. You know, I look back at 3 or 4 or 5 months ago, and the real estate market was thriving. It was the best market it's ever been in the history of HAR. How can you use those prices to come up with the price today? I think every one of those listings is going to be overpriced. So I'm going to jump right into this and how I get in. So if you look, I've just gone and picked a house. It's brand new. It's only been on the market, I think, for less than 7 days or less. And it's just a house. It's a typical house here in the Pearland, Texas market. It's over in Shadow Creek Ranch in section 1 through 12. It's, you know, it's a nice home. So how typically would you go do a house? You would go click on this CMA right there, and that'll bring you to this right there. So one of the things that we do as realtors, right, we come in here and we like to narrow that focus down, because we don't want a shotgun approach when we're looking for doing comps. And again, this is the old way of doing things. So we're going to refine that criteria. We're going to say location. I'm going to say in Shadow Creek Ranch, you know, subdivision, I'm going to say in that same area, and I'm going to say search. And that's brought me down from 20 sold properties. Now I'm going to refine that criteria again. I'm going to go way down in 9, 10, 11, 12. That's probably a little bit too far. Let's go from 10-1 to now. Get that in there. That brought me down to 12 properties. And that's all right. I'm trying to get down there. Square foot. I'm going to go plus or minus 500 square foot just to kind of get a search going here. That's brought me down to 10. And year built, property type, stories. This is a 2-story. And it's my opinion, when you're doing comparables, you never, ever, ever compare a 1-story house to a 2-story or vice versa. They're apples and oranges, in my opinion, and just best practices says never to compare a 1-story to a 2-story or the other way around. So I'm going to look at only 2 stories. Ooh, that brought it down to 3. Look at that. and refine the criteria some more, bedrooms, private pools. I'm going to leave all that as is and kind of search where we are for sold properties. I'm going to add all 3 of those properties in pending. Let's go next. And I'm going to add in 1 there. There's only 1 active. Let's go there too. I'm going to add that one in. I'm going to move my picture over here so we can see all of this editing criteria over here. And then I'm going to go next. So it came up with a price based on a 2% variance of this. I'm going to say next and move this again to right dead center. And I'm going to just say CMA training, TRAINING training, and I'll put 2023, so I'll know what that is. Create CMA. So HAR has built this great tool that you have to be able to do CMAs, and it's coming up here, and it's going to render a great looking CMA. And you can view it, you can share it, you can download it. I'm just going to view it so we can see what it is. And it gives all this information. You can email this directly to your client and everything else so they can see all the stuff here. So this one came up with a suggested sales price range of 319 to 332. Okay. So an estimated property value after adjustments is 325 is what HAR is coming up with the comps and everything that I picked up. Now let's look what this one house was priced at, listed at 340. Okay. That's 1 CMA. I don't know if that's a good CMA or not. I just know how I picked. And, if I was representing a buyer, I may suggest, we go in at a lower price. It's nothing wrong with what this agent's listed this at. It's a fine, beautiful property in Pearland. So what I want to do now is jump into several different things. So how I look at things, I go through a lot of the AVMs, the automated valuation modeling tools that we have as realtors. We can come in and look at all this stuff. So the first one I want to go to is this one right here called AVM. All these things up here are just a great resource. So if you click on that right there, it will bring you to this page right here. In HAR, there's the listing, it comes up. So what I want you to do, I'm going to write down on my little tablet here, see how you do. So what I'm doing, I have a piece of paper here, and I'm going to write down these prices to show everybody how we're doing and what we're doing here. So the first price by Black Knight, it was 332. I'm going to write that down. The next one was by CoreLogic. CoreLogic was 331. And Zillow was 341. Now, I get people that ask me all the time about this appraisal district. I want you as a realtor and the consumer to understand one thing about what an appraisal price is. It has no bearing in fact of what an actual real estate property in the state of Texas might be worth. It's the appraisal district's opinion of tax value. That's it. So you should fight your taxes every year, get them as low as possible, and don't worry about raising it up when you're trying to sell it. It has no bearing in fact what the actual house value is. So that link right here called AVM took me to this page right there and gave me all of those. So here's some great information that's given by Black Knight and CoreLogic. What's going on with the values? They look to be dropping a little bit. Pearland's prices are dropping a little bit, but man, they had a hockey stick up there back in 2022, right? That was amazing. So they're just leveling off a little bit. It's to be expected. So the next one that I want to go to is this data CoOp right here. Okay, this is another AVM by CoreLogic. And this is a really kind of cool tool. So where I want you to go is the property reports right here under the real AVM report. Now this will take a second or two to render. So when this comes up, it's going to give us a price opinion, and it's going to give us some other numbers that are really kind of important for you to understand what they are when they come up. So this one came up with an estimated value of 332. I'm gonna write that down, 332,078, and that's CoOp. I'm gonna write that down. And so what I want you to look at is this confidence score right here. The confidence score is 92. So if you come down and let's read what the confidence score is. I want everybody to really understand what we're looking at here in data sources. So we're going to come right here to confidence score. So the probability times 100 that the absolute percentage error is within 10%, range 0 to 100. The higher the number, the higher the confidence in accuracy. So man, these guys at CoreLogic have a very, very high rating of what this house is. And, you know, it just goes to, I want to show you something here too. This one was, look, the value date was dated 1/4/09 or of 23. I'm sorry, 1/9 of 23. So it's just a couple of days old. Today I'm recording this video on the 16th of January. So it's so you'll understand the value is very recent. And has that price maybe dropped a little bit since then? Maybe, but not that much. So we're just going to go with that price and we're going to go from there. I'm going to again move this over to here so y'all can see where we're going. So the next thing I'm going to go to is a great source from RPR. RPR is Realtors Property Resource. It's a NAR tool that we have at our disposal, only available to realtors. You come here, I'm going to put in the address and comma zip code because it always wants that zip code, 77584. And I'm going to do a search. It'll come up with that. So they came up here, the list price of that and the real AVM, look at there. They're very close to that, but their refined value, look at that. Their RVM is 372,296, and that's RPR. Okay. Now the next one I want to go to, you can't, there's not a tick or anything to go to. So what I'm going to ask you to do is go to HAR's members portal and come back here to tools. And I'm going to click on what I think is one of the best tools, most underutilized for realtors. And I did a whole training video on Remine. So if you go back in my videos, look at my search history, you'll be able to see some of my videos on training on Remine. So I'm going to go to Remine, and this is going to come up. This is a tool only for realtors again. I'm going to search here, and I'm going to search for that address. There it came up right there. And one of the things I'm going to do real quick, I could create another whole CMA if I wanted to right here, but I'm looking to get in and out of here in 5 minutes or less. So I'm going to come right here to the valuation right over here. I'm going to click there. So it came up with this average right there. So I'm trying to come up with my own average. So I don't want to use somebody else's average. So what I'm going to suggest that you do is really not pay much attention with that average. Unless it's just a one-stop shop, you go in there and look, it'll give you a great average. That's a given. So let's look at these numbers here. First American, Remine, Redfin, and Zestimate. We already have a Zillow estimate. I may correct that price a little bit because it's a $400 difference. So I'm going to go into my paper and I'm going to write 341,400 for Zillow. But it's First American, I'm going to write that down at 345,421. Remine, I'm gonna write that down. Remine is 430,511, and Redfin is 341,400. So guys, I got to ask you this: with all these different automated valuation modeling tools out there, can't come up with the exact same price. Don't you see how you really have to look at a lot of different sources other than just comparables to find out? All of these people have spent millions and millions of dollars on these algorithms that come up with the pricing. So I'm helping you help yourself come up with a great price in a really quick way. So I'm going to go there and look at that. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different AVMs that we're going to use. So all I'm going to do is really, I'm going to get my trusty calculator right here, and I'm going to come in, turn that on. I'm just going to add up those 8 numbers, guys. So 332 plus 331, 341, 400, 332,078, 372, 296, 345, 421, 430, 511, and 341, 400 equals 2,826,106. So I'm going to stop sharing to bring this back in. So guys, what I want you to understand is that I'm doing this very quickly to find what a house might appraise for, in my opinion. And I've come up with this, and I'm going to divide that by 8 real quick. That didn't work. So that's 2,826,106 divided by 8 equals 353,263.50. That was my average that I came up with. So 264 to round it off. So 353,264. Man, that's how long did that take me? In reality, I'm gonna go back in here and share the screen again and share there. Let's go back to the listing. So they're at 340. So you see where I'm going with how inaccurate an old-timey CMA may be? This house seems to be, in my opinion, priced to sell. It's not chasing the market. It's ahead of the market because we are in a declining market in the Pearland area. So I think this realtor's done a great job of pricing this house. So, you know, I think it might appraise as high as $353,000. So this gives me some ammunition to go in to talk to my clients, the buyers, if I'm working with a buyer, to show how we come up with that. And just understand that this is just one way of doing it. We can come back and look again, where is the CMA report? 325. But look at there. So we took all of those prices and we looked at all the different comparables, and they're all comparable. But we came up with a really low price doing it the old way. So what's the most accurate? You know, I just I have a hard time. Let me stop sharing this again. I have a hard time looking at just one way of doing things. So I'm as a realtor representing buyers, I'm probably going to tell you to do both ways. So one thing I do want to tell you and caution you about is when you're using the AVMs, look for unicorns or outliers, things that don't really follow the pattern. In looking at this, I'm gonna go back and recalibrate this because I had one calculation that was $60,000 above everything else. Everything else was in the 330s and 40s. I had one from Remine. Their thing said 340. Let me show you that again. So what I came up with. And right there, share this again. So let's go back to Remine. They were 364 on their average, but Remine, that one average right there threw it way out of kilter, in my opinion. So that's a unicorn, something that is an outlier that doesn't really go. So don't be afraid to throw away one of these prices. So if we do that, let's see what we come up with. If I take that number again of 2,826,106 minus 430,511 equals 2395595. I'm going to divide that by 7. Divide that by 7. So 342,228, let's say. So I'm going to stop sharing this again and come back here. So if I'm looking at that house and I want to really represent my best clients, I'm going to say that house should be at 342, 228 is the highest price that I think that house would appraise for. So let's go back again and let's look at what the MLS sheet is. Go back there, 340. So this agent has priced this house absolutely correct. So guys, somebody go make an offer on this house. This is a great purchase because it's just the list price. So let's negotiate. Let's come up with the best price. But you know that you can start somewhere below what they're asking probably. I suspect this house coming up in the next 30 to 45 days in the middle of February, March, maybe a little bit higher priced even. So if there's nothing wrong with the house and all of that stuff, we can go in and look at the attachments and look at the seller's disclosures notice. I tell everybody to do all that stuff, and I don't want to pull that up here to the consumer side because I don't want to disclose all that stuff. It's not mine to disclose. But what I do want to show you is that we came up with the price of a house that I promise you, I just picked a house that's been on the market for less than 7 days. And this is, it's kind of crazy to look at that. So it says 130. This must be a, it's been on the day zero. It's a 1 day old listing, but you can see it's been on the market here with the same broker. They just terminated it and re-added at the same price. This is actually an MLS violation to do that unless they terminated the old listing and have a new listing agreement. So, I'm not a fan of doing that. It doesn't do anything because as a realtor, I still know it's been on the market 130 days, even though today's the first day for the consumer to see, but any realtor is going to know it's been on the market for 130 days. So at the same price. So guys, best practice is not to do that ever. That is an MLS violation. I'm not going to turn them in. Please just move forward and try not to do that with your active listings. That's just not a good practice to do. We always want to lead with the best foot forward and best practices, and trying to fool the public is not a good thing to do. And it's not a good look on you as a professional realtor either. So, I'm going to terminate this thing right here, stop the share. Let's come back in here and talk about this. So what do you need to do to find the best, quickest price? Whatever works for you. I hope that the way that I've shown you this will absolutely give you some ideas to look at housing differently, look at comps differently. I think one of the things I tell everybody is that how in the world would you go back and look at 3 months ago's weather and determine what today's weather is going to be? I'm going to tell you, it's the same thing looking at sold comps from 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. They're no bearing in fact on what this house is worth today. Use these algorithms, use these AVMs, automated valuation modeling tools, to assist you in coming up with a proper price of today's price opinion. Notice I didn't say value, because you cannot use that word value. So be very, very careful. Guys, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for paying attention. I'll be glad to help anybody in the greater HAR area come in and help teach you the way that I do CMAs. This is Danny's CMA way to do it. I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Texas with JLA Realty, and a manager of one of the offices, and have people all over the state of Texas working with me. If I can help you as a realtor anywhere in the greater Houston area, I don't care what brokerage you're with, I'll be glad to help you. That's just kind of how I am. So I encourage you to go Google me, Danny Frank Realtor. I'm a past chairman of HAR, Realtor of the Year of HAR. My whole worth and value is being able to help people just like you learning a better, faster way to do their job. God bless. Happy New Year. Set some goals. Go to church. Love your family. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.